This movie's giving me good vibrations. I'm getting excitations. Good vibrations. Love and Mercy, directed by Bill Pohlad, starring John Cusack, Paul Dano, Elizabeth Banks, and Paul Giamatti. This movie is about the life of Brian Wilson, one of the greatest singers, songwriters of all time, who was part of one of the greatest bands of all time, the Beach Boys. Paul Dano plays Brian Wilson in the year 1963, and you have John Cusack playing Brian Wilson in the 1990s, where he meets up with Melinda Ledbetter, played by Elizabeth Banks, who becomes his second wife and helps him stand up to his therapist slash legal guardian, Eugene Landy, played by Paul Giamatti. This movie focuses on the mental problems that Brian Wilson had because Eugene Landy diagnosed him with paranoid schizophrenia, and then he's over-medicating him, he's controlling his life. Brian Wilson is able to stand up to him with the help of Melinda. And the 1960s era shows Paul Dano helping to write the music for the Beach Boys, singing with the Beach Boys, and it shows the rise and the fall of the Beach Boys. I love this movie. This was such a fantastic film. Paul Dano is fantastic as young Brian Wilson. Then you have John Cusack, who does an amazing job playing Brian Wilson as well. Elizabeth Banks, this is her best performance playing Melinda Ledbetter. And Paul Giamatti is a great antagonist in the movie as this jerk of a psychiatrist. The music is so good. I love the music of the Beach Boys. I grew up with this music, so when I heard that this movie was being made, I definitely wanted to see it. I love going to see a movie like this and lip singing to the songs, bobbing my head to the music. It was such a great experience watching this movie. The other actors in this movie who play the other band members as well as the other people in Brian Wilson's life. Jake Abel plays Mike Love, one of the singers in the band, and I believe Brian Wilson's cousin. Then you have Dennis Wilson, played by Kenny Wormald, Brian Wilson's brother. Carl Wilson, Brian Wilson's other brother, is played by Brett Davern. Harry Wilson is played by Bill Camp. He is Brian Wilson's father, and he is another antagonist in the movie for the 1960s era. And finally you have Erin Dark. She plays Brian Wilson's first wife in the movie, the wife that he married in the 1960s era. The final actor I want to mention is John Slavin. He plays Phil Spector, the famous music agent that helped get the Beach Boys so famous, as well as other bands famous as well. This was just a really excellent movie. I love the fact that I don't see Paul Dano or John Cusack in this movie. I'm actually able to get past them and see Brian Wilson in their performances. And Elizabeth Banks, this is her best performance I've ever seen in this movie. Paul Giamatti does a great job playing the main antagonist of the film. The chemistry with Elizabeth Banks and John Cusack is excellent. The chemistry between Paul Dano and Erin Dark is also very good as well. And this was just a really good movie. The negatives, I suppose, about this movie is that the other band members really fall back into the background. I really don't remember much of the actors that played them, their performances, except for maybe Jake Abel's performance, who played Mike Love, Brian Wilson's cousin. But the rest of them, I really couldn't remember their performances very much. So overall, I'm going to give this movie an A. Definitely get around and check this movie out.